Well, as you can see, the first baby has fledged. Not very far, granted. Its nest box is there, and here it is, bouncing on this little twig. But it is out. Almost 5 weeks to the day. You can see one of the others there, peeking through the nest box. Mum is actually inside at the moment. I think she's trying to encourage it back in. It's very cute. Hello, little one. Hello. I know. So the other one, as I talked about last week, is kamikaze, and it keeps throwing itself out of the nest box, and I find it waddling around on the floor, but it hasn't properly fledged, it's just kind of falling out. This one has actually fledged. You can see she's got some lovely tail feathers, some lovely wing feathers. So she has fledged properly. Lovely, lovely little bird. Definitely looks like the dad, Io. Has the pied markings, so the green and yellow. You can see the other baby behind it there. So yes, so positive news from the Budgies. One fledged, one kamikaze, and the third one continues now to pop up to this hole and sort of stick its head out. Well, here is your daily dose of chick cuteness. Apart from one that's doing a poo, thank you for that. So you might know that we had 8 eggs due to hatch on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and there were only 4 chicks here. And that's because, as you might imagine, only 4 hatched. Now, of those 8, 7 were actually almost a full term. One got to day 18 and 19 and died. The other ones did actually pip. Now, you might also notice that the 3 on the right look very different from the one on the left, and that's because I mixed up my eggs. So I had 10 Ixworth eggs, or so I thought, but actually these are silkies. So the one on the left there, your typical Easter chick, your pink feet, nice bright yellow body, that is our Ixworth. So we have got 1 Ixworth, and then those 3 on the right hand side are Barry's babies, and you can actually see there's already a bit of tan on them, so this is the next generation on. So we'll see how those chicks develop. Now the ones that didn't hatch, one was a silky chick and just didn't make it for some reason, and then there were 3 Ixworths. And I think part of the problem was when the fox took those pullets, they were still quite young and their eggs were still quite small. And the chicks literally had internal pipped, but they hadn't managed to get out, and I think it's because the eggs was too small. These chicks, these little Ixworths, are quite robust, large little things, and they didn't have space to manoeuvre inside, I think, so they couldn't whiz around and zip out. But we have one, so we'll hope that it's a girl, because my friend has some spare cockerels that she can give me, so we'll hope that it's a hen. If it's not a hen and it's a boy, he will become my rooster for my new breeding flock. And I'll have to source some new genetics to add to the mix. But for now, I'm very happy that there are 4 chicks, and there is 1 Ixworth. So Eddie and Ethel's strain and family lives on through this one little chick. Well, this is quite the surprise. This is Iris reticulata, and it's a variety called Katie Hodgkin. And you can see they're not quite fully open, but when they are, they have this beautiful variegated and patterned petal. Now it's a surprise because last year they came out in February and we are only in January. So you can see there's quite a few that haven't actually come up and opened yet. There's another one here, and then there's another one here. I don't know where the others are. There were some more around here. You can see that this has kind of taken over and we need to cut this back quite a bit. It's even taken over all of this, but that's quite cheery on this sort of January days where it can be a bit blue, and it's a very, very pretty flower. Now these aren't long lived, so unlike snowdrops and daffodils where you plonk them in and then over the years they will just become more and more and more numerous, Iris reticulata are quite like tulips in that they last for a couple of years and then they start to go out. So you will, if you do get these, you do need to kind of buy new bulbs every few years. But this is their second year of flowering, so they were planted a couple of years ago, and they seem to be doing really, really well. And maybe they've come out earlier because they've been established. I don't know, but they are very, very pretty and a nice sight on this winter day. So I'm just down with the layers and little monkey here, and I wanted to update you on the fox situation. Now obviously foxes never really go away, they're just waiting for you to make a slip up, but we haven't had another fox attack. Fox comes into the garden most nights, I think, but these layer girls are actually shut in that shed, so that shed is secure. They're not at any harm in that shed, which is good. The main problem I have is with around the shed, because we have this yew tree here, that's my neighbour's fence, that's the top of the shed, there's more sheds and bits there, and so trying to fence this in and make it completely fox proof, because a fox can climb that, no problem, a fox can jump up and get over that, no problem, so the height is an issue, and so there's no way to really shut it in, which is why I've been stressed out. Because there's no way to enclose this and I can't keep them in that shed, so I'm just basically having to risk it at the moment, and as soon as we get anywhere near dusk I'm shutting them away. But at the moment, as you can see, they are happy. There's some winter sunshine coming out which is glinting on her feathers and making you look very pretty, isn't it? And we've got happy hens for the most part, especially when it's not raining, because they hate the rain. Hello Skexis. So that's a quick update on the foxy. No more fox attacks as such, but just a constant awareness that he is around and he will take advantage if I let him. Well, you may have seen the video earlier today about sowing some herbs, and I have put some herbs in, but I had a couple of extra trays that I'd filled with compost, and if you fill the compost into the trays, I don't like to leave it because then it will dry out, so I wanted to sow something into it. So, you know, I know it is still early, but I couldn't help myself. So this tray is all sweet peas. So I put in, again, those sweet peas that I had last year. I had Arthur Hellier and had Jeff Hughes. Arthur Hellier was a beautiful, probably my favourite, with this sort of this white coloration, but then this purple blush around the petals. Jeff Hughes, again, a lovely variegated one. And then I found this very, very old packet called Royal Family Mix. Now, most packets on the back have a packing date. I don't know if this does, but this is very old. So I used all of the seeds that were left from this, I shoved in. Many of them probably won't come up. So I've put those 3 varieties of sweet pea in. And then this, I did the same. I had some very, very old seeds. So I had these cucumbers. Now these are to sow between February and May, but I thought, well, come on, it's January. Let's just get a head start on things. We'll see how they go. And I do want to do a lot more baby cucumbers this year. So these are baby cucumbers, and I'm going to do a bigger cucumber out the front that will hang over a kind of a gazebo. Again, on the back, if you see, so they're packed at the end of 2010 and sowed by 2012. So they're very old. So I'm not actually expecting anything to come up, which is why I'm taking a chance on it now. If they come up, great, I've got plants. If they don't come up, it's no problem. I've used the seeds. I can throw the seed packet away. And nothing lost. And then again, these are actually from Canada. These came from Sard when he moved over here, and they're just spring onions. And again, very old seed packets. Does it say a date? It doesn't say a date, but he moved here 2012. So again, old. So I've put those on as well. So we will see how they do. I just came down to look at my Brinsea. It's one of my favourite foliage plants, and I was a bit worried because it had all gone really, really brown and the leaves had gone. And I've just noticed, look here, even in the depths of winter, when it has been really freaking cold, there are still aphids. So I was worried, and then I looked down here and I'm actually pleased because there's lots of shoots coming through, but look at the amount of aphids all over this. Even though today it's only 2 degrees. they are still around. Blasted little things. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to clear away all these leaves because they're actually sheltering them. They're giving them some protection from the cold. So I'm going to clear away these leaves in the hopes that the cold tonight gets in here and really kills some of these aphids off. Because the last thing you want is getting to spring with intact armies ready to plunder your plants. But I am looking forward to seeing this Brinsea come back to life because, as I say, it's a lovely, it has this variegated leaf, which is lovely when it's not covered in aphids. And it really does great in a nice sheltered shady spot too. So I thought we'd have a quick catch up with the babies and the budgies after that first fledging. So the first one fledged and it's currently up the top, and this is number baby 2 and baby 3. So blue is Pluto, Sunny just flew up, and that is baby 2 on the left and baby 3 on the right. Now baby 3 and baby 2 can't actually fly. Baby 2 because he got a bit damaged in the nest box and the wing feathers are regrowing. Baby 3 is not really ready to come out. But the thing is, they're coming up to the pop hole to plead for food, and they're not getting it, and they're falling out. So I think partly what's happened is they've just fledged early because Sunny is trying to get them out of the nest box because she wants to lay more eggs. Now, in a normal situation, your dad would then feed them. The dad would feed them, but the dad is not around. So they have actually already been starting to nibble at these seeds. And I think that kind of does show that they're curious, but also maybe they're a little bit hungry as well. So we'll just watch this space. They're all fine. There's no signs that they are being starved, and I think she's feeding them just enough to keep them going. But the sooner they start picking up their own food, the better. But they're lovely little birds. There's those two there, and then the other one has settled in very well, and she's just sat up there. So after all the drama of these budgies, it seems that we have got 3 little babies that are fairly happy. And next month, I'll be going to the bird show to try and buy them some mates.